there is a perfect career for you. Now, I'm saying career, I don't mean a job, because we've had many jobs. I had many jobs, and those were just things that typically I was doing just because I needed money. I'm talking about a career. I'm talking about something that you're doing that really causes you to feel fulfilled and that you matter and you're making a difference in your life. And you always know when you get there because you feel happy, you feel peaceful, you feel relaxed, you feel all of that. And I'll tell you a story how I know this. I'll tell you two stories actually, because I was speaking to an associate this morning and he asked me, well, what's one result that you could give me from one of your clients, you know, because he said it was difficult to understand how all of this stuff worked. And I said, well, I had this one client, this is several years ago, a few years ago, and they were concerned about taking this risk to do a business because it was so outside of anything they had done before. She had just only been I think a clerical person, a secretary or something like that, and I'm not sure. But it was something that she felt was kind of close to her heart that she wanted to do, but she was really afraid of it. And her family definitely didn't want her to do this because this was so outside of the norm of what she should be doing, is what they told her, and especially for a woman. She should not be going into this kind of career. And also her particular country where she's from, it's different in terms of how they see things. So, but she decided, I'm going to take a risk. We had a meeting, we were talking about it, and I said, yeah, I think you're supposed to do it. It feels like this is aligned with who you are. So you're supposed to go and do that. And so she did. I didn't see her for a long time. And then she comes back about, I don't remember, about a year later or something, and she says, oh yeah, I did what you said. And I went and I created this business, and this is the best thing ever. I'm on my own. I can leave my job. I can do all of these things. And as I was talking to the associate this morning, I never looked at this. He said, well, how much money do you think that might have been? And he says, you need to tell people that. And I said, well, yeah, I don't talk about it. But we did the math, and it was probably about $150,000 that she had created just from deciding to go out and do that business. But the reason that I do the work that I do, because I suffered from this all the time, not doing what I was meant to do, where I was supposed to go. And a lot of us have done that. And you will see what's happening now. A lot of people are moving. A lot of people are changing their careers, changing their jobs. We saw it right after the pandemic, because then when you go home, when you're sitting at home, you start to say, wait a minute, what am I doing? What is my life doing? Why is that happening? So many years ago, but this was back somewhere in the mid 80s, I believe, I needed a job. And so I took a job that was it was customer service, and I figured I could do that. It was just on the phone. I mean, I was truly desperate at that time, and I just wanted anything. And I took this job, and I go in, and I started doing the calls, and answering the calls. This is customer service. And I was really disturbed because these people were angry. These people were really pissed off, and I'm going, what is going on? And I couldn't figure it out for the longest time, and I just went and talked to the boss. I said, I don't know that I can do this because something doesn't feel right here. Why are these people so upset? And I can't figure it out. And then the one supervisor that I talked to, he kind of said, oh, wait a minute. We looked at your resume and we see that you have some accounting experience, so maybe you should do that. And I said, okay, well, if I don't have to be on the phone and get this kind of negative energy going on all the time, I will do that. And so I took the job in accounting. Then they said, oh, well, you can really do so much more. Why don't you start managing this? And so at some point, I'm managing the entire company. And the boss of the company started calling me into his office. They kept giving me more and more responsibilities. I can't tell you, I was doing so much stuff. And then he would call me into his office during the day to sit and ask me questions. He wanted to talk to me. He wanted to get some advice. Now, this is a multimillionaire, and I have no idea. I was this young guy at this time. I have no idea why he's calling me in to ask me questions about his life. And so I did that. And then I started to see, wait a minute, this is really getting crazy here. I'm getting great money. They even gave me money for a down payment on a car. I mean, all this is wonderful. And I hated it. And I stayed there. And I got sick. I had horrible headaches. That's one of the periods where I had my cluster headaches. I did all of that, and I couldn't leave because I thought, I can't really give this up. I'm supposed to be here, and I need the money, and I can't, even though I'm killing myself, even though I'm miserable, I'm going to stay here because I'm supposed to. And this is old programming. You see, because I can know my family would have said, you can't leave. My grandparents would have said that you've got to stay right where you are. And a lot of people have been having that programmed into their thinking. I had to break out of that. This is why I do the work that I do. This is why I had to go on that journey, because I would have died if I had not changed. And so what I do, what I had to do myself, and what I do with all of my clients, I get you to rethink everything about yourself. Everything about who you are, and you notice all of the old stuff that has been programmed into your thinking that has kept you stuck. I did that so much. It kept me stuck. I just had to keep moving. I put out something a while ago where I talked about the different changes that I had made. And all those changes were because I knew that there was something more. And I know that there's something more for you. I know that there's something more for every client that I work with. And that's why my program is structured in the way it is. You know, in the first part of it, the 4 weeks, you're going through looking at your beliefs, looking at who you are. Who do you think you are? That's really what it is. And why do you think that? See, because then there's a reason behind why you've acted the way that you've acted in the past, why you haven't achieved things, why you haven't gotten to that right place, why you're unhappy, and why you're depressed. And it's all the same thing. It's because you haven't found that right career. And the right career is something that you came here into the world to do. Every single person has that. So that's the first part. It's about changing your thinking. It's all in mindset, you see. So if you can change your mindset, so wait a minute, I've been holding myself back forever, so now I can do this, and I enjoy it, and it's fun. And I'm saying this because it takes a while to get there. It's taken me years. So I'm just saying this is the process. When you understand how humans in general operate in terms of your neuroscience, your brain, and all of that, you will know that, okay, you've programmed yourself into thinking you're not worth anything. So now you got to program yourself into knowing how much you are worth. That is exactly what my program does. That's why people come out of it feeling quite differently about themselves, because they've gone through this transference of this information into themselves where they can say, wait a minute, I am someone and I have something to offer the world. And it takes a while. That's why I say you stay in it for a bit and you keep going and you build this momentum, and all of a sudden you're this new person. And what's coming up in the world, and probably for you, I'm doing this video because I know a lot of people are going through this. You're looking at something, you're uncertain about the world for sure, but you're looking at, okay, what haven't I done yet? That's why you're looking at the world, because there's something you haven't done and you haven't found that perfect career, and now you have an opportunity to do exactly that. But I just wanted to talk about the process a little bit to help you, because I know a lot of people are a little afraid, uncertain, and struggling right now. However, if you were to work on who you are, work on why you're in the world, because everybody has it, the world wouldn't bother you. You would be in a completely different place. You'd be happy, and you'd be just like that other client she's just doing her business, making money, and supporting her family. That's what I want for everyone.